Means MJ Morris named the ACC Rookie of the Week. Will get his hands on the football here in just a few seconds. Ivan Mora to kick off, and Julian Gray standing back around the 7-yard line. And we are underway here at Carter Finley. Gray back into the end zone. He wants to take it out. Looking for the 20-yard line. Scampers a bit. Still on his feet. And now a Morris becoming the first true freshman to start at NC State 22 years since a guy by the name of Philip Rivers.
He turned out to be a pretty good player, and wearing number 16 the way Russell Wilson wore that number here. And MJ Morris obviously played well when he came into the game against Virginia Tech in last week's game, and I really feel like he can build off of that performance.
So the true freshman at the controls of the offense. Ryan Smenda, who's been around forever with the stop and a 1-yard pickup.
And with MJ Morris, there is a different feel as a quarterback coming off the bench instead of starting a football game. It's just, the preparation during the week, sometimes you can make too much of it, but everything that we've been told about his approach has been impressive to this football team, and I think he's been a more vocal leader this week.
We got a chance to meet with him during practice this week. Very humble kid, but a lot of energy. They love that about him. Well overthrown on his.
Yeah, and Timmons has played a little bit more. He's a true freshman that's got a lot of speed, and they've created some opportunities for plays like that, throwing the ball down the field to him. And I mentioned it being different preparing in the week. I think we saw a pretty amped up MJ Morris there, as that one was a little too far out there.
You're going to see some design runs from him tonight?
I think so. He's a talented runner, and I think we'll see a lot of it.
Look at the throw, and that one's going to be broken up. Wake Forest with a coverage intended for Devin Carter. That was busted up by Kalen Carson.
And it's a good job of Kalen Carson. He's playing kind of a press bail technique and really doesn't allow Carter to get much separation at all. And Carson is one of these players at Wake Forest that maybe people don't know nationally, but I think their corners have played at a pretty good level all year round, and Carson, one of those guys.
So Morin back at the 35-yard line. Is NC State forced to punt right away. Demon Deacons at 6-2, coming off that shocking loss against Louisville last week, 48-21. Morin had no room to operate at all up to the 40-yard line before he's taken down.
The production has been remarkable when you look at Sam Hartman, and he's a 5-year player, 4-year starter. Definitely faced adversity in terms of injuries throughout his career, but has continued to produce at a high level.
Quick chuck immediately off toward the flat. That's Morin, and immediately they swarm on him and take him down. Isaiah Moore, his 3rd year wearing that number 1 along with Fagan.
Dave, you said swarm. That's defense. They are so fast in the second level. Those linebackers, you see the way they pursue to the ball.
Wake to go fast here in the mesh. And complete to Ellison. Ellison trying to get outside, hurdling out of bounds. Tyler Baker-Williams, the man to get him 18 yards for that.
Yeah, and Ellison's wide open. Isaiah Moore just gets a little confused inside. He's the inside backer, number 1, and I think he just catches Ellison late. That's why Ellison's able to out-leverage the defense.
1st and 10. Hartman will step up, trying to get loose, crossing the 40-yard line. Peyton Wilson tripping him up. The former state wrestling champion. Tough to get away from him.
Tough to get away from him, and that's a great job. Hartman's not going to be really deep in his drop. He climbs the pocket so quickly, and so Wilson retracing his steps was critical in terms of getting Hartman down before it turned into a big game.
Hartman's had a great career. Even now in his 5th year, he's setting records. Had 6 touchdowns in the loss to Clemson. That's a school record. On 2nd down 8. Looking to throw, and incomplete off the fingertips of A.T. Perry. who's been his favorite receiver, 35 catches.
Yes, he's an excellent player, and that is a bit of a continuation, Dave, of what they saw last week. It's a good route. He's open. Ball is a relatively accurate throw, and you don't see A.T. Perry do that often.
3rd and long for Wake on their first drive of the ball game here at Carter Finley. This crowd absolutely raring to go tonight. He is back to throw in the pocket, and a flag down on the pass. Dropped around the 50-yard line as he was trying to open up Morin again.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 53, 5-yard penalty, third down.
Javionte Nash, the left tackle, who hurt his ankle last week, and that was a big blow.
He hurt his ankle, and he struggled a bit last week. And NC State right there bringing an all-out pressure, zero blitz pressure, and Hartman trying to slow them, timing it up with his snap count, and Nash just kind of flinches.
And Sam Hartman, when the season started, he was battling a blood clot. Nobody knew if his career would be over. A rather incredible comeback in so many ways. Back to throw. Now flushed out of there, moving. He throws an interception. Picked up by Harris. Jakeem Harris, the free safety, to the far sideline and run out. And an interception by the secondary of the Wolfpack.
And this is really what NC State wanted after last week and all the turnovers. Here's what's going to happen. Harris is down here. And as Hartman climbs up and scrambles, he's going to fall into an overbreaking route. And so he's going to let the guy go, fall back inside. And when he falls back inside to the over route, Hartman doesn't pick him up. And so it's hard for a quarterback to see that as you're climbing. But that's just an excellent play by Jakeem Harris. Just great awareness as a zone defender to find a route as the quarterback is climbing in the pocket.
Hartman, who had 6 turnovers by himself last week, 3 fumbles he lost, and the 3 interceptions as well. So Morris back at it on the run and complete to the near side. And got that one to his favorite man, Thayer Thomas, one of the great athletes in the country, frankly. That's for 17.
Yeah, and it's a nice job by Tim Beck, offensive coordinator for NC State. Get the quarterback on the move and give him a simple read to get.
They flare him out to the left. Morris going to keep it. And he's going to slide down around the 20-yard line. He's going to pick up 7.
Yeah, and that is not a reaction play. That is a design quarterback run. To the point you made earlier, Dave, it's something he can do well. Not something Devin Leary really, did and wasn't really a part of their offense. And so Tim Beck now has quarterback run game as something that he's going to sprinkle in to this NC State offense.
And Tim says one of the things he loves most about Morris is he's so smart. He says you only have to tell him something one time. He's going to keep it again. Trying to move the football here in his second drive of the ball game. And Jalen Garnes with the stop. And a gain of 4. Brings up 3rd down. 3rd and 2 for the Wolfpack. And is Leary. All he can do right now is watch and cheer on a guy who really considers him a very serious mentor. Morris said this week, Devin Leary is like my big brother. He gets so much from that relationship.
And it's just always great to see that when a quarterback room is so supportive. And clearly Leary has handled, the injury and being around pretty well.
Wants to run it again and dives ahead and picks up the 1st down.
That's 3 design quarterback runs in a row, Dave. And so part of these, they will be reads. See, Sumo Karmbe, maybe thought he was getting that one based on his reaction, but the reality is you have design quarterback runs where the quarterback knows he's going to be the ball carrier, and then these read plays, which we've seen a couple of them now, where Morris is just deciding to keep it.
So quickly here in the first quarter, the Pack knocking on the door, but he's going to take a sack. Down he goes in a heap. They're going to lose 9 yards on the sack. Malik Mustafa, who is the best defender that Wake has, was the man on the spot.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Mustafa is a very good player. He comes on the blitz off of the left side, and MJ Morris, I believe, had a hop built in on that, and the ball probably should have come out. And I think for Wake Forest, you get a young quarterback You're going to try to confuse him. You're also going to try to get to him and hit him to rattle him. That's going to be the challenge for Wake tonight.
Well, before the Virginia Tech game, Morris had all of 16 snaps. And again on the keep. And he'll be tangled up and stopped. And by Garnes again, he'll gain just 2 on that attempt.
You know, one of the things that showed up with MJ Morris against Virginia Tech is some of the situational football. And here we are. We're in 3rd and long. You're in field goal range. And so how does Tim Beck want to manage this? Is it a throw down the field? I would guess it's something relatively safe. Hopefully, you know, pop a screen or do something like that. You know, don't allow your quarterback to take points off the board by trying to throw the ball down the field.
Well, the Pack is one of the best kickers in the country in Dunn. And again, he'll step up and dump it short over the middle and complete. And that one caught by Jones. He'll get 6, but that's all there. Smenda with another tackle.
And that's a good decision by MJ Morris. You know, you're behind the chains. It's 3rd and forever. Wake Forest plays soft. Check it down to your back. And now give yourself an easier field goal attempt for Chris Dunn.
Dunn, a midseason AP All-American. He's made 15 straight. He's actually the national leader in field goal percentage. This will be from 33 yards to try and get NC State on the board. And that one is off the post. And he made it anyway. It went through. So even when he catches a post, it's good.
Pretty sure he called glass, Dave, program. And, you know, it's been surprising to see. And that one was a nice play by Jakeem Harris, but an interception nonetheless.
Keyshawn Williams with a fair catch. We look back to those picks a week ago.
Tells its own story. The first one, I think he just leaves inside and, you know, gets picked off and run back. You know, the second one goes off of Donovan Green's face mask. Not much you can do about that. And then I thought he sped up his process on his last one to Keyshawn Williams. And, you know, and then tonight, you know, as he's climbing, he's throwing an over route. I think he probably feels pretty good about it. And it's just a great job of Jakeem Harris falling off of his initial coverage responsibility to make a play.
Turner with a carry, tried to break free. He's going to gain 4 yards. We're talking about Tony Gibson, defensive coordinator for NC State this week, and he said in no uncertain terms, we're looking for an early turnover from Hartman and company.
Yeah, because no matter, you know, how good Hartman's been throughout his career, you're still coming off a game where you turned it over a bunch. And so to get an early one, which is what Gibson wanted, you have to think that it plays into the mind of the quarterback.
Out of that mesh, Hartman will fire that one, and it's Perry to pick up a first down. Tariq Pitts with the stop. Of course, the Wolfpack, one of the stingier defenses in FBS, allowing just 17 points a game. That's number 1 in the ACC. Only Clemson has scored more than 24 against the Pack. They got 30 in that game. Hartman back to throw, but a flag is down. Wake was quick. 7:16 to go here in the first quarter. 3-0 NC State.
Before the snap, false start. Offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, so Tanner Ingle is coming off the edge here, and watch the left tackle, who we mentioned earlier, Nash. He ends up moving early because he's trying to get out there to a blitzer that's timing up the snap count. Look, crowd noise was an issue last week at Louisville for Wake Forest offensively. This environment tonight, I would think, is going to be louder than it was last week in Louisville, and how they handle it.
Perry trying to break free. He does down the sideline before he goes out. A.T. Perry came in with 35 catches. It's been Hartman's number 1 target at a 68-yard touchdown catch against Vandy. This for 17.
Yeah, and he just, you know, runs the little smoke route, just stays at the line of scrimmage, gets the ball, and, you know, Tariq Pitts not able to get him down. I do think the matchup with Perry, most of these corners, is a good one for Wake.
Flag dropped, and a completed pass there on the sideline again to Perry, but a flag down. And he's looking for Perry anytime he can. The big junior at 6'5", 205. Dave Doran On the sideline, he's led NC State to more bowl games than any coach in school history, and they're headed back to another one this year. Last year's Holiday Bowl canceled on game day.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 13. Personal foul. Defense number 5. Those penalties offset. First down.
Okay, so they will offset. 6:24 to go here in the first. Wolfpack 6-2. It's been an eventful season for them, no doubt. They've been ranked as high as number 10 before falling to Clemson October 1st. Clausen is up in arms on his sideline. 1st and 10 for Hartman. And down to 2 on the clock before he gets the snap. Another flag is dropped. So they're coming left and right here all of a sudden in the first quarter.
Before the snap, false start. Offense, number 59. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's another thing you don't see from Wake Forest, right? You don't see penalties.
Yeah, and it's Nagasamnaya, the right guard. He's just going to flinch. Once again, I mean, listen, and there comes Tanner Engel just, lighting up Christian Turner. Handling the crowd noise when you're sitting in your stance for so long is a challenge, and it's not something that this Wake offense has handled well.
The third false start. Hartman with time this time will roll right and let it fly and incomplete. He wanted Donovan Green, the 6'2" sophomore out of Mount Airy, North Carolina, but Aiden White was with him.
Yeah, and as you look at Dave Clausen, we saw him fired up earlier. I mean, usually he's pretty, mild-mannered guy as he's coaching his team on the sideline. Clearly was upset about something on the previous play.
Hartman will hit Perry again, trying to stay on his feet, but goes down on the backside, but picks up 9 yards. Full disclosure, I mean, these two head coaches are among our favorites anywhere in the country to cover.
You know what I think we like about them? Their teams are prepared. They're disciplined teams. They're well coached. The coach cares about his players. And so it's fun to watch them compete.
True, both guys. And tremendous at what they do. Hartman back to throw once again. It's broken up. Right into the teeth of the Wolfpack defense and incomplete. And the tip by Isaiah Moore. 3rd year wearing that coveted #1 jersey. It's a real privilege for this program.
Yeah, and Isaiah Moore, I believe, has the back Christian Turner man-to-man coverage. And when he goes to block, he just kind of frees up and starts to read the quarterback and gets in the throwing lane of Hartman as he's trying to push the ball downfield to Keyshawn Williams.
When you ask the coaches, who's the alpha male of your program, everybody says the same thing. It's #1. It's Isaiah Moore.
They also said he could be president of the United States one day.
Yeah, that's right. And a fair catch down around the 6-yard line by Thomas. A 37-yard punt. 3-0 NC State here in the early going in Raleigh.
Experience. I didn't want to go out there and act nervous. I wanted to have fun, find the open receiver. He said that would be his approach tonight too. The moment not going to be too big for him. Just come out here and do what he can. He said, guys, I'm going to try and treat it just like practice. Play fast and find my guys.
20 for 29, 265 yards and no interceptions last week. So an impressive start to say the least. He said after the win, I feel like a kid in a candy store. Right now the freshman has the keys to the store.
And everybody said to us, his energy, his excitement, his personality, and you can see it a little bit there as he's addressing the team after the win against Virginia Tech. But guys like that. Guys respond to that type of kind of energy, and I think it's helped them.
Well, they respond to the talent as well, and he's got loads of that. Ranked the #5 dual threat quarterback in the country out of high school. He chose NC State over Nebraska and Georgia Tech, but this goes nowhere. That's happened a couple of times early. Kobe Turner and Quincy Bryant in on the hits. Going to lose 4.
And this is a total bust miscommunication between Morris and Devin Carter. Morris is trying to throw the football to Carter. Carter is to his right, and he's going to block the run, and sometimes that can happen. Here's Carter. He's trying to throw him the ball. Carter's going to look to block the safety, and that happens sometimes when you run these RPOs, these run-pass options. because if the receiver doesn't think he's getting the ball, he's not looking for it.
Carter with 18 receptions, 1 for a touchdown. Lots of targets here. I mean, 20 Wolfpack receivers, not all of them wide receivers, but have caught passes this year. Moore's going to try and run it out of there. He's tangled up and lassoed down by Kendron Wayman. And that's going to be another loss, 2 yards this time.
And Wayman's a good player. He kind of, is able to kind of wrap around. Here's Wayman down here, and they're just going to run a quarterback draw. It's a lead draw. Wayman's going to wrap around, and he wraps right to it. And I think that's one of the things. It's a good job of Brad Lambert, defensive coordinator for Wake Forest. The quarterback run game has already shown itself to be a huge part of the plan for NC State. One of the ways you deal with it is twists and stunts up front, and that's why Wayman wrapped right into MJ Morris.
Ball start. Offense, number 47. Penalties half distance to the goal. 4th down.
Now this is a punt that's all of a sudden getting trickier. Shane McDonough practically on the back line, trying to launch one here. And Morin creeping up to the 40-yard line. Gets across the 30. And they drag him down, but tremendous field position here. A 39-yard punt and a 12-yard return. It'll be 1st and 10. NC State has faced Wake Forest more times than any opponent. This is the 116th all-time meeting on a beautiful night in Raleigh. Dave O'Brien, Tim Hasselbeck, and Tim, what about the play selection so far for Wake about to get the football back?
Well, you just look at it, 2 rushes, 9 passes. It just feels like they know that running the football is going to be a challenge against this NC State front. And so they've almost just committed to say, look, we're going to throw it a bunch, and we're okay doing that.
Hartman with the handoff for Ellison. Not a lot of room to operate on that side, as he is stacked up by Moore and Drake Thomas. Of course, is the younger brother, the wide receiver there on this team.
And a really fine player, a guy that got a lot of opportunity a year ago because of injuries at linebacker. Took him and ran with them, but has really just continued to ascend as a player.
Hartman to put it in the air and fires incomplete over the head of his intended receiver by a lot. And aiming for Jamal Banks. Banks has really had an incredible year without a lot of people talking about him much. He has 8 touchdown passes.
8 touchdown passes, and it's hard to find him when NC State is bringing pressure and into the lap of Hartman, which is why I think we saw a misfire.
3rd down 10. Crowd's been active early. They've been a factor. And Hartman looking downfield, rifles that one, and that's going to be complete. And caught by Banks. He got inside the 5-yard line.
Well, you called it on Banks. He's a really good player. Great size and great job adjusting to the football there. At 6'4", guys don't typically adjust to the football like that at his size. Good throw by Hartman, and then great adjustment.
28 yards on that strike. Knocking on the door here, the Demon Deacons. Trying to rifle his way inside is Ellison, but nothing there. Moore and Thomas saw that one come. Let's go back to that throw.
Yeah, it's really a one-on-one opportunity. You see the throwing lane that Hartman has, and if he gets that, it's going to be delivered that way. And Aiden White, who's a really good player, and NC State likes how he matches up. That's a tall task against the 6'4" Banks with the ball thrown that accurately.
2nd and goal at the 4. Justice Ellison, a running back. Hartman hands off to him again, and again no room. Isaiah Moore came up to say hello, and a great read by Moore once again, the grad out of Chester, Virginia.
And NC State has basically blitzed on nearly every play. They are bringing players, and you just see the way they like to bring pressure. You also see how tough they've been to score on in the red zone. Just have good length, good size, great awareness, and I would expect them now to lay off on some of that pressure.
3rd down, Hartman to be tested here. Looking for the end zone. Here they come again, and dragging him down once more, Isaiah Moore. Boy, he has been outstanding here in the early going. A 9-yard loss on that sack.
Well, once again, I think Moore has the back in coverage, and when the back goes to block, he adds on. And this NC State defense has been all over the...
Frustrating start offensively for Wake Forest, but here's Matthew Dennis for a 35-yard field goal try for the Demon Deacons as they look to get on the scoreboard here in Raleigh. Just at the start of the second quarter. And that one is no good. Dennis with a miss. He had made 10 of 11. But unable to cash in there, and everything is breaking the Wolfpack's way right now.
Everything breaking their way. Good hard rush off the left side, and I think it kind of had to trap the snap on the hold, but ball gets down and just seems like it was pushed a little bit right, and Dennis knew right away.
Yeah, the holder Zach Murphy had all sorts of trouble with that. Moore says, no, 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 not in our house. Hartman and the Demon Deacons, Tim, they were first and goal at the 1-yard line, and on 3 plays, they lost 16 yards.
Well, they have negative 11 yards rushing on the night so far. They just haven't been able to run the football, and I think it's kind of disjointed their offense. And you got to credit NC State defensively because they've just been the aggressor.
The true freshman Morris going over the top, trying to go downtown, but incomplete. He's overthrown a couple of men early on here. Pretty decent pressure there by Mustafa. It's been said before in the ACC.
There's pressure coming off the edge here, and they do not have him accounted for. Now, I do think that Demisumo Karmbe maybe busts this protection, but you know, there also seems to be, when we talk about disconnect on offense, because we've seen it from Morris now, somewhat of an unawareness of who the problem blitzer is. Do you have him accounted for in your pass protection? And if you don't know that, it can lead to some disastrous plays offensively.
Sumo Kongbe back after missing a couple of weeks. Out with injury, missed the last 2 games. Ja'Cory Johns with the stop on that effort. MJ Morris, one of only 6 true freshmen in ACC history in the playoff era with 20 completions, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions a week ago. And that is Grant Gibson, the outstanding center. That would be a really big loss for NC State. We'll check on him when we return.
It's 617-3964. That's 1-800-617-3964 now.
So there's a little bit of game within the game going on here. Here's Grant Gibson. He gets legal hands to the face by Tyler Williams. His helmet falls off. Gibson doesn't get the call, and so he goes down. Why does he go down? So that the center doesn't have to come in cold. You stop the game, allow the center to take some snaps. Dylan McMahon in this case in at center for a play, so he can take some snaps.
Sure, so because Gibson knew he was coming out anyway for one play by rule. Morris back, another long attempt, and overthrowing Thomas once again, too far out of the reach of the receiver. Thomas, who's had a tremendous career, number 2 in school history with 24 touchdown catches, but that one way out of his reach.
And we've seen this a couple times now, Dave, right? He overthrows the post earlier in the game to Timmons. He overthrows Thomas there by a lot, and it seems like Dave Dorn maybe just saying, hey, we'll calm him down a little bit. You want to give your guys at least a chance to touch the football. You know, otherwise, they're just long foul balls.
So Morin standing back at the 37. As this punt is launched, he is back, wants to run it. And now they're going to say down there at the 25, a fair catch. That's a 55-yard kick.
Well, NC State defensively, Dave, has been really good. They've been the aggressor. Obviously a great play by Jakeem Harris. Just awesome awareness. Isaiah Moore finding the throwing lane, and Isaiah Moore adding on in their blitz package. And I think Tony Gibson's had a nice plan. Just look, it's a good defense. It's been a good defense all season long, and tonight against an interesting defense, or excuse me, offense to defend, they've decided to just say, look, we're going to come hit you in the mouth trust our guys on the perimeter.
Well, it's a great linebacker room for NC State, isn't it? One of the best in the country, frankly, in particular with Peyton Wilson and Isaiah Moore and Drake Thomas. I mean, you add up all their combined starts, it's over 100.
They're awesome. And the interesting things, there are players behind those three that are really good players. That would be starters other places, but yeah, I would put them up against any linebacking crew in the entire country.
2nd and 7. Hartman, no time, trying to get out of there, running free, got it short and complete. Got that one off for first down. Well done there to get it free to Keyshawn Williams.
And that right there is where you see the courage and guts of Sam Hartman. Pressure off the side. Look at him fight through this. And then we talked about it earlier. Just the ability to change your arm angle to find a completion. That's a good job by Sam Hartman.
Hartman in the pocket, rifles that one and complete. Nice catch by Banks. Had to rise up high for that. That'll pick up 15 before Tanner Ingle stopped him.
And this is another good example of finding the throwing lane. Great catch by Banks, but that's Sam Hartman with guys in his lap having to change his arm angle to get the ball off, not allow it to be batted down to find a receiver.
It's been an undertold story how effective they are recruiting wide receivers, and oftentimes very large wide receivers, as Williams is dragged down and picking up 4 there. But getting them in the program and making them even better, Tim.
Dave, it's a great point because this has been, recruiting cycle after recruiting cycle, year over year, where there have been really good players. They do an excellent job of identifying talent, getting it into the program, and then coaching it up.
Trying to get free Christian Turner. Now, it looks like they're turning to Turner to try and get some semblance of a ground game. He'll pick up 3, but they're going to be short. 3rd and 3 coming up for Clausen and Wake.
And to me, with how this has gone so far, this is a passing down with how NC State has defended the run so far tonight.
Wake Forest producing over 430 yards a game in total offense. It'll be Turner trying to bounce outside, gets the edge, and out he goes. But a nice gain of 13 yards.
Yeah, it's a nice job. I did not think they'd keep it on the ground there. NC State decided to bring pressure. Dave Clausen just being patient with the run. They're able to we got a disaster here. Ref's trying to hold the play. Ref is trying to hold the play because of a substitution. Center doesn't know it and snaps the football. Michael Juergens, you see the ref here. He's holding the play because of a substitution. Offense subs, got to allow the defense to sub. Michael Juergens at center doesn't feel the official there and snaps the football.
Charles Lambertina, the center judge, getting his crew together. 1st down and 10. Early moments here of the 2nd quarter in Raleigh.
There is no foul in the play for a false start.
Wake Forest coming in 6-2, 2-2 in the ACC. This, by the way, only the 3rd time in this long rivalry both schools come in ranked in the top 25. And Hartman with pressure on, throwing long for the end zone, and that play is broken up into that fine secondary. Jamal Banks, the intended receiver, battle there to knock it away.
Yeah, and Shaheem Battle, numbers alone, you'd think he matches up well. 6'2", 195. He's got good length to be battling with Banks, but he kind of gets turned around and probably gets fortunate here. He's able to find the football.
Yeah, more of a case that Banks just didn't make the catch. Would have been a tough one, obviously. As Turner lurches forward, and he'll gain 2. Thomas and Van on the tackle. Van, a guy the coaches say is going to make a lot of money playing professional football one day. Third down and 8 coming here for Wake.
Large timeout, North Carolina State.
So the Wolfpack to take the timeout. 11:02 to go here in the 2nd.
We pick up the phone.
Winston-Salem tonight. You've got to be kidding me. NC State catapults into the lead. Here's Hartman to the end zone and got it in there. Ellison straight on, and he is in. Touchdown. And the Demon Deacons remain perfect inside the ACC. Man, that was fun. That was last year. Been a lot of them in this rivalry because they've had a lot of chances to have great games since 1910 continuously. And have been playing since 1895. Wake Forest, nicknamed the Old Black and Gold, North Carolina College of Agriculture and Mechanic Arts. Boy, am I glad they shortened that up. That would have been tough for 3 hours. 3rd down and 8. 11:02 to go here in the second. Hartman looking downfield again. Rifles that one and complete on a tough catch by Keyshawn Williams, going down to pick up a 1st down.
That's a really nice job by Sam Hartman. NC State plays coverage. He doesn't like what he sees first. He's got to hang in there and throw this middle bender, kind of post to Keyshawn Williams, and he does a great job of just going down and securing the football.
Keyshawn out of Philadelphia, undoubtedly a Phillies fan. They have a lot on their plate tonight in Houston in Game 6 of the World Series. 1st and goal. So it's the 2nd time that Wake has been real close. They missed a field goal tonight, and that's going to be incomplete. And a flag is down. Going to be an interference here. Banks the intended man, and Pitts saw the flag. Derek Pitts.
Pass interference. Defense number 24. The penalty took place in the end zone, therefore the ball be placed at the 2-yard line. 1st down.
So all the way to the 2.
Yeah, Pitts basically puts his hands around it and grabs Banks. This is how Wake challenges you once they get inside the 10-yard line. Is if you get a one-on-one opportunity with Perry or Banks, Hartman's going to try it. He's just so accurate throwing those back shoulder fades that they like going to it.
Green in motion. Once again, Turner to run it, and Turner is in for the touchdown for Wake Forest. Christian Turner, for the 6th time this year, he's the man they go to down close.
And it's Turner's patience that makes this work. I think they're trying to hit this off of the front side to Turner's right. And he just kind of sifts his way through there with that patience to find a cutback lane and wind up in the end zone.
10 plays, 73 yards on the drive. And now Wake looking for the extra point. They have taken the lead here in Raleigh. Last year, a high-scoring affair. We will see if tonight follows suit.
Hartman does such a great job of managing the pocket, throwing in conflict. And we've already seen a few really good examples tonight. This one outside the pocket, dropping the arm angle to get the ball out. And here, almost a jump pass to Jamal Banks. And obviously we saw on the throw to Keyshawn Williams. How you play in conflict, I think, says a lot about you as a quarterback. Kind of your toughness to stand in there, but also your ability to stay calm with people around you. And especially when you consider an early turnover, Dave.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good response by Sam Hartman.
Shook that one off. So here's Gray from the goal line. Bounces off one tackler. Almost stumbles. Heading for the 30, just shy of that. He's going to be dragged down. A 29-yard return to bring out 1st and 10. So now we'll see how the true freshman Morris reacts. Throwing the ball, that's been shaky. 2 out of 6, just 23 yards so far.
And I just think he's been a little too amped up. I mean, we've seen some of these throws just not be anywhere near his receiver because he's overshot them. So if I'm Tim Beck or Dave Dorn, what I'm trying to do is just settle him down, find him an easy completion, get him into a rhythm, maybe get back to some of the quarterback run stuff as well.
Heck, last week, I mean, he was so green, as he still is, but they had to burn timeouts to teach him to take a knee as this one is batted down. And that's not a joke.
Oh, and it's the situational football. And right here, as they're trying to get him an easy completion, Kobe Turner just gets his hands up into the throwing lane as they're trying to hit a wide receiver screen.
Dave Doran, one of the brighter head coaches you're ever going to talk to. Great eye for talent. Dave actually had plans to become an orthopedic surgeon after college at Drake, but Even took the MCATs. Then he went to a 7-on-7 camp to do some coaching, fell in love with it. He never went back to school. And Morris trying to wriggle free, can't, as he's stacked up right in the center of the line. Quincy Bryant, first one to say hello, and that's a 3-yard loss.
And now NC State finds itself in another 3rd and long. We've seen a few of these already, and the response has been, look, hey, quarterback draw, something easy so that, MJ Morris doesn't take a bad situation, 3rd and forever, and make it a worse situation by turning the ball over.
3rd and 13 for the true freshman. And a 7-3 lead for Wake. Taking his time, clock down to 2 as he takes the snap. Trying to show off that arm down the center of the field, and a diving effort and a catch is made. A spectacular play by Keon Lassane as he laid out for that on a great ball by Morris.
It's a great catch by Keon Lassane. It's a beautifully placed ball by MJ Morris, and a terrible mistake by the Wake defense. They showed blitz, bailed out of it, and just let Lassane blow the top off the coverage.
Picks up 44 yards as Houston tried to stay on his feet. A 44-yard strike. This is a dandy.
Yeah, it's a perfectly accurate throw, and when you contrast that to 2 of the deep balls we saw earlier, you can see why the reaction was what it was by MJ Morris.
2nd down 8. The Wolfpack trying to roll to the end zone here with 8:22 to go in the second. Morris wants to hand this one off on the strike here. It's going to be Houston. Houston got down close to the 10-yard line. And Smenda with the stop, but it gains 16.
And that's a nice job of Grant Gibson at center, Dylan McMahon. These 2 guys, basically, they're going to work to this level, linebacker level player. It's a little delay on the draw. You see Gibson and McMahon work to that 2nd level. There's Gibson getting the 2nd level. Jordan Houston able to hit it.
So another first down for NC State. And a fire to the end zone, and a touchdown. He caught it. A sensational play by Lassane again. Boy, what a drive he had. And that is a rifle strike from 12 yards and a touchdown.
And how about that for getting your quarterback into a rhythm? Hits Lassane on a post and then hits him on a little bit of a glance off of the run action. And it's a heck of a job of holding on to the football. But Keon Lassane and MJ Morris feeling it a little bit like he did against Virginia Tech.
Well, no wonder the coaches rave about that arm and the touch. So done on for the point after, and that's perfect. And the Wolfpack come back and retake the.
I mean, on the post route, just does a great job of keeping his speed up and then catching the ball through contact like he does here on the touchdown as well. And, MJ Morris, who I thought was shaky at times in the passing game, doing a nice job of finding Lassane, and Lassane doing a nice job of making some tough catches for his quarterback.
71-yard drive, 56 yards on 2 passes just to Lassane, who did not get a touchdown catch last week. And let's go down to Kelsey.
Well, guys, this NC State sidelines is fired up, and that's good, especially for their defense. Their defensive coordinator, Tony Gibson, was talking to his guys after that last touchdown, saying, calm down, we're good. We've got to get off the field on 3rd down. He was telling his guys they missed 2 opportunities. They have to take advantage of it. And when I talked to Peyton Wilson this week about their defensive coordinator, he said, ask any football player. When you watch our defense, we sometimes give stuff up, but we will be the hardest working defense in the country. I expect them to come out hard on this drive.
Again, just 17 points a game allowed by the Wolfpack D. They are elite. Hartman with pressure. Can't get away, and down he goes. He is stopped by Drake Thomas. Came in leading them with 58 tackles and 1 sack. He'll pick up another.
We'll talk about playing hard and playing with effort. Here comes Drake Thomas. He gets cut. He's down on the ground. Get back up and make the play. That is being aggressive, but then also continuing to pursue and play hard all the way to the football.
Thomas, Moore, Wilson, they are everywhere. And that's going to be a completed pass and upended Perry. But he'll pick up a first down, 18-yard gain there. Pitts with the stop.
And that play looked kind of bizarre from the jump, almost like some of the offensive linemen didn't move, and then you combine that with the slow mesh. Seemed like half the offense and defense wasn't even ready to play football.
Ellison on the carry, broke free of one. Are you surprised that more teams around the country don't adopt the mesh style?
I mean, yes, because it's been so effective, and everybody we talk to talks about how the scheme really helps your guys up front. Everybody's looking for an advantage in the trenches, and Dave Clawson and his offensive coordinator, Warren Ruggiero, have done an excellent job kind of mastering this offense that they've created.
They truly have. Hartman, and he's going to be chased, and down he goes again. No place to hide, and he's going to lose 4 yards, taken down by Travali Price. And Gibson is rather excited.
Yeah, he's thrilled about it because he continues to get pressure on Sam Hartman, and I feel like I've been a few times now where Hartman has kind of got stuck with the football. You know, he doesn't typically hold it forever, and when he has, NC State's been able to get to him.
Brings up 3rd and 11. Hartman to go airborne again. Fires that one and complete. A beautiful route. They'll pick up the first down. That's A.T. Perry once again with a catch.
It's a great route by A.T. Perry. He's going to sell it outside and then just get his big body inside, and then good accurate throw by Hartman, timing it up and once again finding a throwing lane.
6'5", 205. And that one overthrown, and flags on the play. And once again, Pitts having all sorts of trouble. Hartman lost his helmet. And flags dropped on the pass attempt. It's actually 3 of them down, one at the 50-yard line, the others inside the 20. With 5:21 to go here before halftime in Raleigh. And again, Hartman with his helmet rolling moments ago. And a big conference here in a tight football game.
And I think there's a lot going on here. Is there PI? That's one element to this. The other element of this is watch Tanner Engel from the right side here. He's going to run over Ellison, and then in the process, there ends up being interference on Pitts, but then Hartman loses his helmet. Here's Engel just running over, and then he rips the helmet off.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Pass interference, defense, that penalty's declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And I think Engel is running through the block of Ellison. I don't know that he realizes that he grabs Hartman's face mask, which is...
Number 10 for Wake Forest can stay in the play as the foul will cause the helmet to come off.
Yeah, so you see this here. He runs through Ellison, and he's kind of fighting through him. He kind of hooks his hand in there, and he's like, oh, hey, Sam, my bad. And then afterwards, they say, hey, we're all good. Hey, I know you're competing, and you know I like to compete, which you like to see. But Engel, who's been described to us by both coaching staffs as a heat-seeking missile.
Maybe a little too hot there.
A little too hot.
Nash coming off. And 5:21 to go here in the second. It's certainly getting hot, as we anticipated it would. Both teams coming in 6-2, 2-2 in conference play. So first down and 10, as mentioned, even though he lost the helmet, it was torn off his head, so Hartman does not have to miss a play. And it's Ellison with a carry to bring up second down here for Wake Forest. Battle with the tackle.
And Dave, Javonte Nash came out of the game. He had an ankle injury a week ago. Spencer Clapp is now in the game at left tackle. That was an issue last week at Louisville in terms of snap count communication as well as just holding up and protection.
Certainly they think had something to do, talking about NC State, with how that game unfolded with all the turnovers, all the open gaps up front.
Exactly, and I would expect when opportunity presents itself in a known passing situation for Tony Gibson to really test the left side of that offensive line.
Third down short. Under 4.5 to go before halftime. Sam Hartman, who has had a tremendous career at the helm for Wake. Back to throw again, trying to go over the top, and that one is going to be caught. Morin caught it in the end zone for a touchdown. It looked like the play had died, and it was going to be incomplete. It goes for 24 and a stunning touchdown.
And it also looked like Sam Hartman was going to get hit in the backfield. But as NC State brings this pressure, they kind of muddle it up as much as they can inside. And Drake Thomas has his hand in the face of Hartman, who gets the football off, and just a remarkable adjustment to the ball by Taylor Marin, because Cyrus Fagan's got pretty good coverage, just can't locate the ball.
So Wake Forest on 8 plays, 75 yards into the end zone. And that will be good on the point after. Wake Forest with a 14-10 advantage.
Listen, this is a gun barrel throw, meaning you are staring down the gun barrel for touchdown number 95, which ties you with Phillip Rivers in terms of most touchdown passes in ACC history. That's a really impressive one to get it on, because, you know, Dave, you said you thought the play had died. I mean, I thought he was going to be on his back, and here comes Drake Thomas right into his face to get the ball off, and then again the adjustment by Taylor Marin. That's why they're so hard to defend, is when a quarterback will play with that type of toughness, guts, and courage in the pocket, and then these receivers adjust to the ball the way that they do, it's hard to defend them.
So the numbers starting to look pretty darn good for Sam Hartman. 13 out of 1,985 yards, 1 pick early, and now comes back with a big touchdown.
And Dave, you mentioned it earlier, and I don't think that it can be overstated. You know, the season started with there probably being some uncertainty whether or not Sam Hartman would play another game in a Wake Forest uniform. And the year that he's had, continuing to add to his production, it's been good to see.
Julian Gray finds an opening, takes to the sideline before he is taken out. So a nice return of 31. A little pushing and shoving there on the sideline. As mentioned, it is heating up. Now for about 4 minutes, we actually had a little bit of rain here, which was totally unexpected. What else is unexpected? Well, you're expecting plenty of offense tonight out of that man. And Wake Forest, they can really score at 44 against VMI, 45 against Vandy, Clemson, and Army, 43 against Boston College. And now Morris and company looking to return the favor. With just over 4 minutes to go. And Allen in the backfield. He'll take the handoff. Nice opening there. And picks up big yards. Nice first down gain. And will go for 12 yards.
Well, and what's interesting, MJ Morris, true freshman. We saw Terrell Timmons, they took a shot to him earlier, true freshman. Michael Allen, who's now in the game in the backfield, true freshman. We got some young players playing on this NC State offense.
Morris rifles that one complete to Thomas. And out he goes. Chased out by Garnes, but another first down. A gain of 11 yards on that pass. So the freshman will lace him up. You really saw his arm strength and touch on display in their last touchdown drive. He'll air it out again, but overthrown. And that one incomplete over the head of Darrell Jones.
And just a miscommunication. Jones kind of stops. He's getting ready to hook up. He's kind of signaling like, hey, you know, I had press, and so I turn around and stop. I wasn't converting that route. And, you know, MJ Morris saw it a different way. You know, I think banked reps, you know, that's something that people talk about all the time. Like, how much work has this quarterback had, you know, working with that receiver, working against different coverages? And when you're a true freshman, you just don't have a ton of those banked reps.
Second down, Morris to fire again. Long one, wants Thomas, and it's broken up And a flag is dropped. And another interference coming. Evan Slocum, the free safety, trying to defend Thomas. That's hard to do.
Pass interference, defense, number 14, 15-yard penalty, first down.
I want to get another look at this. I wasn't sure that he was early, to be honest with you. That's not PI to me, and I typically favor the offense. To me, that's not PI. It's a better job of Morris of putting the ball somewhere where his receiver can make a play on it. He's clearly got to calm down a little bit. He's a little amped up early. I think it's an unfortunate break for Wake defensively because I think Slocum, even though he didn't turn to locate the football, I didn't find him to be too early.
So on the first down, Morris to operate again, getting more and more comfortable, particularly throwing the ball. And it's Allen trying to break free up the middle. And another good carry, stopped by Smenda, but a 9-yard gain.
You know, one area I really feel like NC State has an advantage is along the offensive line. I mean, they are big, they're strong, they're experienced. And I think we've seen it on a couple of runs here where they're doing a good job of creating space for these NC State backs.
Morris with an empty backfield here. On second and short. MJ out of Carrollton, Georgia, wants to run it. Sees a gap and bursts his way through and picks up a first down. That's just another element he as a quarterback can offer.
Another element, you get into empty, you think you're getting, you're getting a pass, and then you have Trent Penix wrap around as the lead blocker here, and it's essentially quarterback power extra with Penix being the extra blocker. So you get an advantage in the number count because the quarterback's the runner, and you pick up the first down easily.
Penix, a guy who missed 6 games with a fractured shoulder, said he had tears in his eyes when he came back, deeply emotional. See, Dave Doran got him laughing, got him smiling, and that was so important when he was hurt. Allen again trying to make the carry, but stopped by Ja'Cory Johns, and nothing there.
Charge timeout, Wake Forest, 30 seconds.
So MJ Morris early on, taking a couple of hits and a couple of big throws.
And when you're starting a true freshman quarterback, you're never really sure how he's going to respond. And early on, it was relatively ugly because he was getting hit. Not sure that he was seeing it all that well, but then settled down and was able to find Keon Lassane a couple of big throws that got him into the end zone, and has looked a little bit better on this drive as well. And so you see how he started and then how it's gone since. You know, some of that energy and excitement maybe was coming out a little too much early on, but he settled in nicely.
It's fun to watch a guy at the beginning of his career, isn't it? And, you know, in a game like this, even seeing growth from one series to the next. Second down 10. And Morris trying to find the end zone again. 14-10, Wake Forest. They'll keep it again, trying to dance inside that line before he's taken down by Ryan Smenda. Big senior out of Orange Park.
Second charge timeout.
And they'll take another timeout, Wake Forest.
30 seconds.
And Clausen does a great job of managing the game. He's obviously trying to leave himself some time for Sam Hartman to get the football back. But, you know, as we look at Dave Dorn, and he talked to us about MJ Morris and, you know, the fact that he likes guys that he recruits to play different sports. MJ Morris, a baseball player, and, you know, baseball, and Dave, you know this, baseball in many ways is a failure sport. You know, I mean, you experience a lot of failure. And so there is an element of that for me, I think, for a quarterback to have played baseball, to understand that element where, look, it's not always going to go well, and you need to kind of be able to erase that and come back and respond. And I feel like we've seen MJ Morris do that tonight.
Talking to MJ this week, he's a center fielder. He admitted this week he'd love to continue to play baseball. He'd love to play collegiately because he loves that game too, but his dance card is going to be pretty full in the spring.
It sure will be.
Jones in and a running back now for the Pack. 3rd down and 10. And Morris with some time. Now on the move. Throws to the corner of the end zone and a touchdown. That one caught by Darryl Jones from 13 yards. A touchdown for the Pack.
When things break down, you see the athleticism shine through. That's an impressive play by MJ Morris. He doesn't like what he sees originally, and then he ends up escaping outside the pocket. And Darryl Jones comes from all the way on the right side, and as his speed is up, watch MJ Morris. He's going to start with his eyes left. Doesn't like it. As he drifts to that side, here comes Darryl Jones. And moving to your left, locating that receiver and making that throw inside in this environment is hard to do. That's a nice play by MJ Morris.
So 90 seconds before halftime, NC State has retaken the lead 17-14.
Yeah, and you look at where Darryl Jones starts. Like, he is not the primary receiver. He just continues to move. And as he looks back and sees his quarterback in trouble, he just keeps his speed up, and Morris is able to locate him, make this throw on his left before they run out of real estate. That's a heck of a play.
And man, is he pumped up. And he gets the crowd going too.
Dave Doran is thinking, okay, I found another guy that can play this position.
And Darryl Jones with his second touchdown reception of the year, the transfer from Maryland to haul that in. Well, you have two quarterbacks who are very, very talented on the opposite ends of their college careers in many ways, but they get it done different ways, but they get it done.
They certainly do, and credit to the coaching staff here at NC State. Tim Beck and his crew have found a way to build something around Devin Leary. They had success with that, obviously, and now with MJ Morris, you have to make some tweaks, and it certainly looks like it's worked.
So 1st and 10 coming up here now for Wake Forest. Plenty of time for Hartman and company, certainly to get into field goal range. He's thinking about getting 7 back. Wake Forest will have the ball, by the way, to start the second half. So from the 25-yard line, Sam Hartman at it again. As he rolls right. Gets time to get one off. Throws it short and complete. And caught by Banks right on the sideline. A 4-yard gain.
And NC State defensively has been very aggressive throughout this football game. Now in this environment, we saw them really back off the start of this drive, and I think Tony Gibson, it's just not his nature to sit back and play it too soft. So I think even in this environment, we'll see NC State come after Sam Hartman.
Out of the shotgun, he releases again, and that one incomplete. Tried to hit the tight end Blake Whiteheart, but it was tipped. It was tipped by Peyton Wilson. He got a hand on it.
And this is one of the things that makes Peyton Wilson such a unique player. At 6'4", 240, his range at his size, just because of his quickness and athleticism, he's good as a run defender, a blitzer, but obviously good in space as well.
3rd down and 6. Do the Demon Deacons have a big strike left in them before halftime? 3rd down 6. Hartman, good time in the pocket, and another one deflected. And another one that was tipped, this time by Corey Durden. Last year, all ACC first team. Guy who often finds himself double teamed, but he got free there.
Dave, you said it earlier, they wanted an interception early, but what they also wanted was tips at the line of scrimmage. Sam Hartman's a great player. He's not 6'4", and he plays close to the line of scrimmage because of the design of the Wake offense. And getting your hands up was a point of emphasis for NC State, and they've done a good job of it.
So the Wolfpack forcing the punt. Here's Thomas with a fair catch and a 42-yard punt. 1:06 to go. And coming up, the ACC Network halftime report with Jordan, Eddie, Eric, EJ, and the coach We get you up to date on all of today's college football action in the ACC. And around the ACC, how about Duke, bowl eligible?
Yeah, they, hard-fought win against BC was hanging around. And then Pitt in one where they had to kind of grind it out a little bit against Syracuse, who played without Schrader. And then UNC kind of struggled a little bit offensively early in the game, which surprised me, but then played well down the stretch.
Yeah, May with a couple of big plays, as he is wont to do in what has been a phenomenal year for him. A couple of touchdown passes today, also ran for one. So next week, number 21 Wake Forest trying to clinch the ACC Coastal. How about the year Carolina's had?
They've had an incredible year, and the one next week will be an exciting one. We think about the offense, that we've seen there, that in those matchups has been so good, and Drake May, no doubt about it, has been a lot of fun to watch.
He has had an amazing year. He's played his way into Heisman contention. On the carry, Jordan Houston. Inside 1 minute to go before halftime here in Raleigh, a 2-yard pickup.
And if I'm Dave Dorn, and we talked about situational football, and Dave, you talked about, hey, they had to reteach him the victory formation and taking a knee at the end of a game. I'm content here. I've got the lead. I've got a quarterback that looked to settle in. I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize that, which is why you see them letting the clock wind down.
So Sam Hartman and company will have the football to begin the second half. NC State looks very content to take a 3-point lead into halftime.
Second charge timeout. NC State.
They will take a timeout
30
there.
seconds.
Well, 12 seconds to go. So for NC State, playing behind a true freshman quarterback, took a little while before he found his rhythm, but then a couple of big strikes, great catches by Keon Lassane in particular on that 70-yard plus touchdown drive, and they were off to the races.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things you're learning about a freshman quarterback is, okay, well, how will he respond to it? Making his first start, because Virginia Tech game wasn't his start, and then how does he settle down after some early misses? Because I do think there was some frustration setting in, but those connections to Lassane obviously got him going.
NC State has staged a couple of marvelous come-from-behinds this year, but looking to go into their locker room with the lead over Wake Forest, number 21 in the country, NC State number 22.
Third and final timeout. Wake Forest.
And they'll burn their last one.
30 seconds.
As mentioned, this is only the third time in this long rivalry that both schools come in ranked.
And they've kind of had to fight their way through some early struggles, but Christian Turner able to kind of sift his way into the end zone, and then Lassane makes a great catch through contact. And then how about the highlight catch by Taylor Marin? And then it was MJ Morris on the move to Darryl Jones. I just think the way that these teams have kind of fought through it kind of are indicative of their coaches and how they've coached these programs. Mentally tough teams that aren't going to go away quietly.
Devin Leary doing a little coaching there, and Hartman by himself on his sideline, trailing by 3. So the Pack to punt here with 8 seconds to go here in the second. We're in back there at the 20-yard line. He's already made a sensational catch. He's going to take a pretty good hit. Decent lick there to end the first half. And for NC State, a 3-point lead at halftime here at home. And again, Wake will receive the second half kickoff. And Kelsey.
And he is playing football. The game, he's seeing it now. And I think the other takeaway is that Wake Forest, after a rough week last week and a rough start offensively, they got into a little bit of a rhythm offensively. So, they've weathered the storm, if you will. And I expect a tough, hard-fought second half.
That's the way it's been between these two schools over and over. just a moment ago. Kelsey with Dave Clausen.
Coach Clausen, what was your message to the team at the half?
Every time we play these guys, it's a one-score, four-quarter game, and we just got to keep playing and keep straining. They've got good players, good coaches. Our guys are a good football team. It's going to go down to the wire. We just got to keep playing.
Offensively, you guys were able to overcome some early mistakes. Saw Sam Hartman bounce back. What do you need to see in the second half?
Well, just a little more consistency. We had the one turnover that led to a field goal, and then we had the ball on the 1 yard line and came away without points. And considering those two things, to be down 3, we're not in a bad place.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Boy, is that the case.
It definitely is the case, because when that's just out of character for Wake. You know, they do such a good job of managing the game, and when you turn it over, they don't. They come away with points, and and so the fact that they're down 3 when they've missed some opportunities, they probably feel good about it.
Yeah, pretty positive mindset. That one rifled by Hartman. He gets that one complete to Donovan Green. And about a yard short. Battle with the stop, and picks up 9.
And some of these one-on-one opportunities with Green, it's been with A.T. Perry, on Shaheem Battle. I think that's something that Wake is going to continue to test.
Ellison tried to find an opening, but it closed quickly. Did he get there? As they swarmed around him, I don't think so. That was Baker, Williams, and Moore converging on a tackle, and they stopped him.
Yeah, and that is a quick 3 and out. And NC State, after playing great in the first half defensively, has to be thrilled with that stop. And I'm somewhat surprised, with as much reading as Wake Forest does, that there wasn't a read play there. They basically ran into a bad look.
So Wake on a punt on their first touch. Thomas back for the fair catch inside the 20-yard line, a kick of 46.
Initially, we saw the deep post to Timmons, who was way off target, and then, just kind of not able to find separation by Carter, and then all of a sudden it started to settle down. Maybe after Dave Doran told him to take a few breaths, he did that and was able to hit Lassane twice, and then a really fine play moving to his left to Daryl Jones. And I would think usually as a down, you're good the rest of the way. And MJ Morris, I would think, to see the settled down version in the second half.
Yeah, that 44-yard pass to Lassane as well. Some great throws in that series you were talking about. Morris, the first true freshman last week since Phillip Rivers to throw 3 touchdown passes in a game for NC State. That was before Morris was born.
I mean, and Phillip Rivers, who obviously had a remarkable career here and then in the NFL. Look, it tells you about some of the quarterbacks that have come through here. And the guy that wore 16 playing the position, Russell Wilson, now sees this guy wearing 16.
Tremendous quarterbacks on a spin. Thomas getting free before he's dragged down from behind by Mustafa. But a pickup of 7. So NC State setting up a 3rd down here behind Thayer Thomas. I mentioned he's not only caught 24 touchdown passes, he has thrown 4 in his career.
Yeah, he's kind of their gadget trick play guy. Don't expect that here, but I do think that, staying on schedule. We saw a lot of 3rd and longs early in the game. 3rd and 2, there's a lot at Tim Beck's disposal in terms of what he can call.
Morris will take it himself up the gut, and enough for a first down. And a tackle by Chalon Garnes, but not before the first, and a pickup of 4 yards.
One of the things we've seen, though, is those critical down and distance the quarterback run. We saw it in the red zone. We've seen it on 3rd down a few times now. It's added an element to what they can do offensively.
On the move again and sliding down. Everybody to a man in the NC State program not only talked about the come from behind win. That's a great victory. When you're 18 down, you come from behind and win. But how he invigorated the entire offense with his performance.
Yeah, Dave Doran at one point said, they were down. He was going over to talk to him, and the next thing you know, he sees him talking to the offensive line in the 3rd quarter, being like, hey guys, we got all kinds of time. We're good. And I think, when Dave Doran saw that, he thought, well, shoot, I can trust this guy. I like the way he's leading this football team.
Houston on a carry. And a good one there for first. Gavin Holmes drags him down, but a 9-yard pickup. And they move the sticks.
You know, I said it earlier, an advantage that NC State has is the guys up front. And Timothy McKay at right tackle did a great job of getting movement, and the running lane was clear. And I do think there's an element there where just continuing to lean on you with this big offensive line could start to wear Wake Forest down.
3 wideouts to the left here for NC State. And they're going to get to the quarterback. Morris has nowhere to run and drag down at the 40-yard line. A loss of 3. And that was Bergen and Johns in on the hit.
Yeah, and it's Ja'Cory Johns right here, and he's going to end up wrapping inside. Bit of a twist underneath, you know, the back that's trying to pick him up. And Ja'Cory Johns, who's played a lot of football for Wake Forest, just kind of needs to step up some in terms of this defensive front with Rondell Bothroyd out, who's been their most kind of reliable guy on that defensive line.
Yeah, that's a big miss. Their best defensive lineman hurt an ankle last week, so out of action. And the spin by Houston. Trying to get free. Mustafa will get to him, but a 7-yard gain.
Well, and how about that tackle by Mustafa? Because he is the free safety. He's the only one there. Jordan Houston, you know, comes flying through the line of scrimmage, and you know, he's excellent in the open field. And Mustafa, we got rave reviews from both, you know, the Wake Forest coaching staff as well as the NC State coaching staff. Does a good job of getting Houston to the ground.
Doing a lot of it tonight. He's made 8 tackles. He's a guy they really move around too.
He's a versatile player. You know, he's listed as a safety, but he's down in the box a fair amount. And here he comes on a blitz.
Forced to throw, rifles that one complete. And once again, it's Lassane as they take him down by the jersey. Carson may have prevented a touchdown there. That's a 16-yard gain.
And how about Lassane? You know, Lassane's been a guy that they've liked his speed. Here comes the blitz from Mustafa, and good job of chopping him down by Jordan Houston. And then Lassane, because of his speed, I think there's a fear to it, and Carson's playing off of him and is able to just get inside on the slant.
Yeah, Lassane did not catch a ball in the Virginia Tech game, but he has 3 tonight. And some backbreakers in there as well. 1st and 10. Wolfpack trying to add on to their 17-14 lead here in the 3rd quarter. And a short one complete as he finds Thomas on the side. And a gain of 3 yards. We mentioned all the athletic skills of that young man there, Thomas. All the things he does on the football field. He can also dunk a basketball. Oh, and by the way, he was drafted by the Boston Red Sox as well.
That's pretty good. His athleticism, his brother's athleticism, I think maybe surprised some people. He's been so reliable with his NC State offense. And, you know, really, he was a guy early on that he was the passing game. And they basically said we put him everywhere but center for him to touch the football.
Morris on 2nd down. Heaves it toward the end zone, and that's going to be batted away and broken up. And no flag on the play. Looking for Devin.
Well, NC State been rolling offensively. Little Jordan Houston, this drive, you get Keon Lassane on the inside slant, and MJ Morris on 3rd down, showing some poise, some maturity. Good start to the 2nd half out of the young quarterback.
Yeah, keeping the ball away from Sam Hartman too. Just picked up a big first. And on top by 3. Morris to throw to Thomas again. And he is met and taken down by Ryan Smenda, who's had a really, really nice night, and that's going to be a 3-yard gain.
Smenda has had a pretty good night. He's kind of flying around. He's one of these bigger linebackers that, you know, kind of a thumper inside and kind of fills aggressively. And you know, he's somebody that, again, you know, a player that when you play against him, you understand he's a smart football player and played a lot of good football for Wake Forest throughout his career.
8 tackles tonight, too, to bring up 2nd down and 7. And the true freshman taking the snap. Rifles that one, and it's caught. And getting inside the 5-yard line and complete to Devin Carter, the 6'3" junior out of Clayton, North Carolina.
Well, it was Smenda on the blitz, and it's a good job of picking him up and then throwing under pressure by MJ Morris. And that ball Not sure that it hit the ground. Did a good job of securing it.
Houston still churning, but can't get in as he is dropped by Smenda. So 2nd down and goal. Five first downs on this drive for NC State.
And when you have a quarterback that has good mobility, which Morris does, down in this area, you've got the opportunity to obviously run the football, but also read a defender. And they're uncovered up top. They need to throw it to the receiver up top. He's trying to get this ball snapped quickly.
And whistles here on the play.
Before the snap, charge timeout. Wake Forest, they're first.
The crowd doesn't like it.
30 seconds.
They thought they had another touchdown there, but the whistle at the snap. 6:18 to go.
Well, it's good awareness. You're going to see Dave Clausen running down right here trying to call the timeout. So he's calling the timeout, but really the issue ended up being is that Pavilion is uncovered. They're not lined up correctly. MJ Morris sees it, and he just was trying to clap as fast as he can because he's trying to get that ball snapped. But Dave Clausen saw it as well.
Good wheels by Dave Clausen.
You know, I think he told me before the game he's 55 years old. I think 55, he's looking pretty good running down the field.
Good qualifier for 55. Take another look at the Devin Carter catch.
You know, he secured it, kind of took a big shot to the midsection.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if that ball was coming out, but kind of was able to re-grip it.
15th play of this drive for the Wolfpack, trying to punch it in. Morris looking for the end zone, and a battle for it, and a touchdown, as that one is caught by Darrell Jones for 6 points. He beat Gavin Holmes. Those two are fighting it out in the end zone.
And a great throw by MJ Morris. Back shoulder throw, an accurate throw away from the defender, but not too far outside of the framework of the wide receiver. And you know, MJ Morris starting to feel it, and an excellent ball to Darrell Jones.
So the Wolfpack trying to add on the extra point and take a 10-point lead. And it will be good. On top 24-14 as the Pack finds the end zone. Big week here in the ACC network. College basketball gets rolling. Going to be an absolute blast and a great conference. And of course, North Carolina right in the thick of it, as they always are, but coming off a spectacular season. North Carolina State to kick off. And it'll go into the end zone, out to the 25. It'll come. Let's go down to Kelsey.
Guys, got an update for you on Devin Carter, who took a hard hit on that last drive. He immediately took his helmet off, came right to the sidelines, and went straight down to his knees. When I walked over there, he had the training staff all around him, was obviously in a lot of pain, taking a lot of deep breaths and kind of spitting, and there was a red substance on the ground there. So they seemed concerned. They called the EMS crew over as well and walked him straight into the locker room. Didn't check him out on the sideline, so we will continue to monitor that. Was able to walk off on his own and seemed to be okay as he was walking, so that's good news.
All right, Kelsey, thank you very much. And whenever you get an update, please get right back to us. Turner on the carry, and a stop by Tanner Ingle after a 4-yard pickup. And Devin Carter having a nice year, 18 catches coming in, the 6'3" junior from Clayton, North Carolina, and he's a big part of their offense. 2nd down, 6 for Wake. Hartman trying to get in rhythm, trying to go over the top here, and the turn of the catch by Green. Going up high, Donovan Green will gain 31.
It's another good throw under conflict by Sam Hartman. It's just a go route, and he stops him with the football because he was under so much pressure. I thought Hartman, he kind of got hit up high and up and down low, and it's again hanging in there tough.
Gets it off fast, doesn't he?
He sure does.
On 1st down, some pressure. getting away from that, got it up, but it's going to be incomplete to bring up second down.
One of the things we haven't seen Hartman do is run the football. You know, there was a point that this offense, obviously, you know, like when Jamie Newman was the quarterback at Wake Forest, quarterback run game was a big part of it. It was somewhat part of the plan with Sam Hartman, but has not been, you know, featured tonight.
Turner can't find any room there. Moore and Thomas have been combining for a lot of stops here tonight. So third down and long for Wake. The Pack D looking for another meaningful stop. Hartman to throw. In the pocket. Launches a long one, and it's incomplete. Intended for Green again. And a coverage by Battle. Shaheem Battle there on coverage.
And I feel like the secondary players for NC State have done a nice job just kind of hanging in there. It looks like Wake Forest going to go for it on fourth down here, but you know, the coverage, you know, by the corners for NC State have done a nice job against these big physical receivers for Wake Forest.
Perry in motion, flaring out to the right here for Wake on 4th and 11. And trailing 24-14. Hartman, time, throwing, and it's picked off. Another interception, this one by Fagan, into the open field and down to the 50.
Yeah, I think this is just a force by Sam Hartman. Now look, it's fourth down, so you as a quarterback are going to be more aggressive with the football than you would be in any other time. But NC State, which has been bringing pressure throughout the night, decided to play coverage, and Fagan is just playing in the middle of the field as, here we go, basically he's trying to hit a seam down here. I believe this is Fagan sitting right there. I'm surprised that Sam tried to even throw this football. Actually, Fagan comes from the middle of the field. Either way, like, there's really no reason to throw this football. You see the crowd. There's 3 defenders right there. I thought, if anything, he would try to push it outside. Now, again, you don't want to get stuck holding the football because it's fourth down, but really nice job by NC State defensively to switch it up, not bring pressure, and then make a play on the ball.
Again, second one of the night. Allen spinning free of a tackle. Gets across the 40-yard line on a nifty carry. And a gain of 12 yards to pick up a first down. Hartman picked off twice in this one. And look at the turnovers. In the first 6 games, just 8 times in the last 2 games.
Yeah, and, you know, the first one tonight was a nice play by Jakeem Harris. The second one there, obviously on fourth down, wasn't ideal, bit of a force. I'm just surprised on 4th and 11, you're going for it. And then the third down play was the go route that you missed out of bounds. Like, if you know you're going for it, I would have thought maybe something just to chip away at the down and distance.
And Jay Morris, nearly a spectacular catch, but off the fingertips of Julian Gray, and incomplete.
And I get it for Wake Forest. You're kind of in no man's land there, you know, to punt. You're too far for a field goal. I just think the decision to throw the go route, then to follow it up with that, you know, just felt like a momentum swing as well with the excitement of the interception.
The Wolfpack have won 15 consecutive games here at Carter Finley Stadium. They've not lost here since November of 2020. They can tie the school record with a win this evening. And another carry as they keep it on the ground for Allen, and he'll gain 5. Smenda yet another tackle. He's been a very busy guy.
He certainly has been, and you know, I also think the group that's been busy is this group up front. The offensive line for NC State has done a good job just kind of grinding away because they've run into some blitz looks, and they continue to find ways to allow their backs to fall forward.
MJ Morris growing with confidence. with every series. A little bit of a choppy start, but he overcame that. And he has led NC State to a 10-point advantage and looking for more now. He gets that one out short to Rooks. Porter Rooks, his 9th catch of the season. His brother Patrick played basketball at Clemson. That'll gain 2. And on 4th and 4, what do you do?
Well, I mean, we're looking at what, roughly a 50-yard field goal from here. I mean, I think you probably have plenty of leg for that, and so, you know, that's the move.
So Christopher Dunn on to kick. His long this year is 53. This will be 51. Made a 53-yarder against Florida State. He's made 16 in a row. The one he hit tonight was off the post and through. So luck is with him. And this kick in the air, it is on the way, and that is beautiful. As you said, he has plenty of.
He did an excellent job coming in that environment. We were kind of wondering, hey, we in no man's land here, and it's a big kick.
He'll come out to the 25. Sam Hartman, a couple of picks tonight.
Yeah, and you know, the first one I really think is a nice defensive play. This other one is on 4th down, and I believe it's the Peyton Manning quote that, you know, basically says, look, every interception has its own story. Either way, never feels good as a quarterback when the ball leaves your hands and the guys in the other color jerseys end up catching it. And so, but I will say this, with 2 minutes left in the third, we've seen Sam Hartman battle back from situations like this before.
Yes, he is battle tested. That one complete to Perry. Quentin Cooley now in at a running back, the 5'9" sophomore for the first time tonight. This will gain 9.
And we've seen a lot of this. Into the boundary, opportunities for A.T. Perry, and I would expect to see a double move off of that coming up as well.
Pressure, Hartman going down again as he is sacked by Engel and Thomas. And tough to escape those two.
Yeah, and here's Tanner Engel. I believe he's covering the back in this situation. When the back goes to block, or maybe he's covering Whitehart, the tight end, when they go to block, he just adds on. And because he plays so fast and downhill, he ends up getting to the quarterback if the quarterback just holds the ball just a bit.
3rd and 6 for Hartman. Looking downfield. Gets it off, and a catch is going to be made there on a nice play by Keyshawn Williams. That'll gain a 1st down, and a terrific play.
Yeah, by Williams and Hartman. Look at Hartman, guys in his lap, can't even follow through, and then Williams, who's made a couple of nice catches tonight, for a big guy, to go down low and make the play. That's a good job.
Whistles here. The previous play gained 13 yards.
Previous play is under further review. Whether or not he caught the ball.
And pretty simple, whether or not he caught the ball. Take a look.
And live, I thought that he did. Hands are under it there. Now, as he goes to the ground, does that ball hit the ground and move around? I mean, right there, it looks like he's got complete control.
Mike Shepard, our replay official. This is another look from behind. And do you ever see the ball hit the ground?
I don't know that you ever see it hit the ground, and I don't know that you ever see it moving, and I think it's...
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. 1st down, Wake Forest.
So that's just an outstanding play by the quarterback and a receiver. One they really needed.
It's a nice job of the officials on the field as well, and also a good job of having it be a quick little review.
We love that. Everybody does. So final seconds of the 3rd quarter here in Raleigh. Sam Hartman trying to lead Wake Forest back, number 21 in the country. NC State number 22. And it's Cooley looking to dance to the right side, stacked up. And a gain of 3. So Wake Forest offense producing 434 yards per game total offense, nearly 300 yards passing, but they are facing the top defense in the ACC. Wake Forest has been able to come from behind and win a game where they trail by 10 or more in the second half. It happened to come against NC State, trailing 23-13, came back to win that game. We'll see if that's in store again here tonight for Sam Hartman and the Demon Deacons as we get the fourth underway. Hartman looking downtown, throwing, and another interception. And this one's going to be picked up by NC State's Aiden White. Against Texas Tech, he had 2 picks, and he's got another one here tonight. And Hartman for the 3rd time in the game.
Yeah, Tanner Ingles coming on a blitz, and I thought he timed it up perfectly. So Hartman definitely felt some pressure. Ball came out quickly. Here comes Ingle, and now he's running full speed. Now here's the other thing that happens. A.T. Perry goes to the post, and White ends up being, kind of just staying back, and with the ball thrown behind, he goes inside. Hartman kind of throws it outside. Just that miscommunication leads to yet another turnover.
So the Pack takes over just 5 seconds in to the 4th quarter. MJ Morris on the move across the 30-yard line. On the scamper, he will gain 4. And stopped by Bernard Gooden. Boy, it has been an up and down night for that man after a nightmarish game last week for Sam Hartman, in which he lost 3 fumbles, was intercepted 3 times, and sacked 7 times.
And MJ Morris didn't like what he saw to the right side. He kind of tells Jordan Houston, like, hey, go block for me. And then, Morris, who's done a nice job getting down on some runs through the, throughout the night to protect himself, takes a hit.
Deion Bergen is the man down, and we'll be back with more in just a moment. A little foot problem there, the 6'1" senior and a Florida native now onto the sideline. Meanwhile, NC State trying to put a hammer down on top, 27-14 here at home. Early moments of the 4th. And a true freshman, MJ Morris, back at the controls. He has had some impressive drives tonight. He will throw again. He finds Thomas. He's taken down, but he'll pick up a first. And let's go down to Kelsey.
Well, they may need to see even more from Thayer Thomas, because I just got an update on Devin Carter. He's questionable to return in the second half. Saw him battle an injury earlier this year against Florida State. Tough guy, but questionable to return right now. So we'll see what other wide receivers can continue to step up.
Kels, thank you. The offense has really been spread around there. 20 different receivers have caught a pass so far this year. Obviously not all of those wide receivers, but they really do spread it around. Morris to put it in the air, wants to throw long, center of the field, and that one overthrown, and flags down. Terrell Timmons, the man they wanted, but Slocum watching those flags fly behind him.
Pass interference, defense, number 14, 15-yard penalty, first down.
They're running Timmons on a post, much like they did early in the game, and I gotta say, I don't think that's PI. I've seen a couple of these tonight where I think the ball is thrown a little bit up the field away from the angle that Timmons set, and you see a guy go to the ground. I think it's easy for the flag to come out. That one did not look like pass interference.
So first down at the 48. Morris in his first career start. And the handoff, and they found that one very quickly. A nice tackle made by Jasheen Davis, and a loss of 4.
I was a little bit surprised with the aggressive nature of, the start of this drive. Couple passes, obviously one turned into a scramble by MJ Morris and a throw down the field. Would have expected to see the ball kept on the ground, but clearly they trust their young quarterback.
Tim Beck, the offensive coordinator, in the box. On a play fake, Morris will launch this one, and a battle for that. Thomas came away with it. What a grab. Well, we've been raving about his athleticism all night long, frankly, every time we see the Wolfpack. Here's another look.
Well, and he bails out his quarterback. It's Slocum once again who they're going after, and Slocum doesn't locate the football. He's there actually to make a play on it, probably intercept it. He's in position, but there Thomas, just more aggressive to the football, jumps up over him to bring it down.
24-yard gain and his 7th catch. So the Pack on the move here, 1st and 10. Thomas in motion. Morris looking that way. Thomas looking downfield. He wanted to throw it. He'll heave it out of bounds as he is dragged down. There is a flag. Couple of flags dropping here. So they'll get together on this one.
Yeah. And what's going to be interesting here,
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 5. Loss it down. 2nd down.
I mentioned it earlier that Thomas is a guy who will throw the ball as well. He's thrown 4 career touchdown passes.
and so what's interesting, he's out of the pocket, right? And so the reason it's grounding is the ball doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. He essentially catches it, knows he's under pressure, throws it out of bounds, but he's got to get it back to the line of scrimmage, and that's why it's grounding. But listen, you don't want to make a bad situation worse. Shot play isn't there. Go ahead and get rid of it. Second forever is not great, but it's better than a turnover.
2nd and 17. Here they come for him. And complete. Got that one off at the last possible second and complete to Penix, who kept on driving and gained 8 yards on the play. Trent Penix.
Here we go. There's going to be pressure coming off of this end, and Morris does a good job of just retreating as they get the ball to Penix coming underneath. It's a little bit of a tight end screen. That pressure and that little subtle drift allows Morris to get it off, and then great effort from Penix, who, battled injury at the start of the season, but everyone at NC State was excited to have him back in the lineup last week.
Yeah, missed 6 games with a shoulder injury. So 7 different receivers have caught a ball so far for the Pack.
Charge timeout. NC State.
And they will take a timeout with about 11 and a half to go here. On top 27-14 over Wake Forest. College football playoff poll came out, and a committee chair is NC State Athletic Director Boo Corrigan. Terrific choice for that role, by the way. At Tennessee, ranked number 1, Georgia, with the big victory over them today.
There were some moments today where I'm sure when they saw the scores, they were like, wait a minute here. Don't do this to us so early.
It's right away, yeah.
But look, it's going to happen down the stretch. Some of these tough matchups, teams battling through injuries, but I would agree with you.
Morris looking to the corner and overthrows Thomas, who's in triple coverage.
In terms of being the right guy for that job. And
flag down here. Yeah, Boo's just an outstanding pick in so many ways.
Holding. Offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down. Correction, the penalty's on number 74.
So that's on the left tackle, Anthony Belton.
And here he is here, and there's been a pretty clean game by the offensive line, and the up and under move just kind of got Belton a little bit at 330 pounds.
Yeah, tough to
Changing
miss.
directions is easier said than done.
6'6". By the way, Alabama LSU has just gone to overtime. It has been a wild night in college football and a fascinating day all the way around. Morris off the fingertip of Thomas, his favorite receiver. And 4th and 19 coming up, so the punting unit returning.
And I think, they're trying to get into field goal range right there, and really they have their Thomas. Morris just misses him, and with the ball getting tipped. Probably fortunate it wasn't intercepted. And now, too far of a kick for Chris Dunn, and they'll have to punt it away.
So Marin back there at the 10-yard line. With almost 11 and a half minutes to go in this contest. They'll let that one fly. A terrific effort there to try and keep that one from going to the end zone. And all the way down to the 1-yard line. There, Thomas was able to grab that and flip it.
It's a great play by Thayer Thomas. Think about the snaps that he's played on offense to then go field the punt and throw it back into the field of play.
Boy, he's had a night.
Yeah, sometimes that that can look easy. That is a very difficult play. I mean, how many times have you seen a gunner on punt team run down the field and not handle it correctly and push it into the end zone? It's a good job of catching it and throwing it back in.
Let's get out of Kelsey Riggs.
Well, guys, this Wake Forest team very much still feels like they are in this game. The mood on the sidelines very positive. Taylor Morin went up to the wide receiver saying, this group needs to step up. It's on us. It's in our hands. Also, their center, one of their leaders, Michael Juergens, telling us, guys, let's go. Last year, we had to battle back as well. Everything you got. The guys talked all week about this being one of the games. Their big four for Wake Forest, wanting to win in the state of North Carolina and be the best team. We'll see what they're able to do and their response on this drive.
All right, Kelsey, Dave Clausen there, just hot on his sideline as the ball is spotted at the 1-yard line.
I think Dave Clausen believes it should be a touchback. He's still upset about it, doesn't understand. And to be honest, I'm not sure why this hasn't been stopped to look at.
Now flag down. A lot of activity.
Ball start. Offense, number 52.
So
After this, it's the goal. First down.
the review committee took a look at it and did not feel it crossed the plane. So no reason to go back on it.
I mean, that's across the plane. That's across the plane. I mean, it's like, look, we're not exactly down the line, but here's the deal. Thayer Thomas is standing over that line. Any part of that ball crosses the plane, it's a touchback.
So Wake has to go 99 yards for a touchdown. They hand off for Ellison, trying to give him a little more wiggle room. Stopped by Corey Durden. And second down coming up. They believed that because he possessed it at the 1-yard line, that's why they marked the ball at the 1. But it was fascinating to see which way they were going to go on that. Second down 10 for Hartman. Airs it out to Perry on the sideline as he will tiptoe out and pick up 7 to bring up third down. 27-14 NC State. Now Dave Clausen, head coach Wake Forest, predicted at halftime this would go right down to the wire. They typically do. Pressure here. They got the pass away, and a big gainer here. Morin able to get free. And stopped finally by Aiden White, but a first down, 24-yard gainer.
Yeah, and again, it's a lot of pressure, blitzing. You see Isaiah Moore getting in there. Tyler Baker-Williams in the face of Sam Hartman, and just hanging in there, being able to get the football off. And then here comes Tanner Engel on a blitz, hitting it on the run.
Hartman with a heave, and that's going to be incomplete on the far sideline. Pretty good battle there between Banks.
And there's a lot of contact. Like to me, at some point there, and then the sideline for Wake Forest can't be happy about this. Like to me, if we can see the contact at the end of this play
with Shaheem Battle.
There's got to be something like that. To me, is a wrestling match down the field.
Oh yeah.
So you want to call it on offense, fine. You want to call it on defense, fine. At some point, guys can't be grabbing each other 30 yards down the field and have no flag.
Got to be a flag somewhere there. Second and 10. Hartman with time. Now on the loose. Looking to the near side and fires that one complete. And got that one to Perry again. Such a valuable and big target at 6'5", about 205. And a 10-yard pickup. 9:39 to go. And battle the man who is down on the seat of his pants.
The previous play is under further review for a completed catch.
So they'll take a look when we come back.
I've worked it.
But Clausen is hot again.
I mean, he thought it was a touchback on the punt. Certainly upset about it. And then he's looking at the replay of what he thought was the pass interference down the field, and then he talked to the officials. I think between the first half and the second half, Dave Clausen definitely has seen some things that he's not happy with.
Totally agree. Perry with 8 catches, 96 yards. He has been the man for Hartman. Not going to get anything here on the rush attempt by Ellison. Perry has been target number 1. That's been the case all season long. Wake Forest, though, has only rushed him for 18 yards. You said it at the very top of the broadcast that if they can't find somebody to run the football, it's going to be a tough night.
Yeah, they just weren't able to get the run game going, and now they're in a mode where they have to throw the football, which means this front for NC State, you know, they know they're rushing the passer, and kind of pin your ears back and do that, and then also, you know, bringing pressure, which we've seen that be effective tonight.
Perry with another catch, gains 9. 3rd down and short. Hartman looking to get it in the air again, throwing long, looking for Perry. A lot of contact there, and there's another flag. And that will be interference on Aiden White. Trying to put a stop to A.T. Perry's show.
It's good pass protection up front, and you can just see that offhand. It's that right hand.
There is no foul for defensive pass interference.
So there is no pass interference. Why did they throw the flag?
I mean,
wow. So 4th and 2, and they're going to go for it here. Not sure why that flag was thrown like that.
Or picked up.
Under 8.5, and blown dead there. Another flag down at the 50.
False start. Offense, number 9. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Well, here comes Tanner Engel. He's coming. When he moves, A.T. Perry flinches. And can't be initiated by the defense.
To 8 minutes, 29 seconds. 8-2-9.
Wake Forest plagued by the false starts tonight. They've had 5 of them.
The crowd noise, we said it was an issue a week ago at Louisville, and it's hurt Wake Forest tonight.
On 4th and 7, and a long throw, and that's going to be caught on that far sideline by
And Wake, I would assume, is going for it. They are keeping the offense on the field, and that's a good decision by Hartman on 3rd and long. 4th and 6, obviously easier to get than had he just launched something down the field.
Well, call of the night here for Wake with 7 minutes left in the contest. Hartman under some pressure, throwing for the end zone. Perry, he makes the catch in the corner for the touchdown. Man, does that silence the crowd. Touchdown, Wake Forest. A 29-yard touchdown reception.
It's an awesome job of A.T. Perry seeing his quarterback in trouble and then working for him. The route doesn't get open immediately, and Hartman escapes outside the pocket. Good adjustment to the ball. And just how about the guttiness and the grit out of Sam Hartman. Some of these 4th downs.
Tim, they went 99 yards for that touchdown.
Unbelievable, because they had to earn it.
Man, did they. And the extra point is good. Well, Dave Clawson said it. He was talking with Kelsey at halftime. These games between these two come right down to the bloody end.
Well, especially when you got that guy at quarterback for Wake Forest, because they
knew 4th downs on that drive. 13 plays, 99 yards.
That's incredible. Usually when you're pinned back there, you're just looking for 1 first down, trying to flip the field, help your defense, and they're able to bring it all the way down.
A short kick, a fair catch at the 31.
First, I thought that these were going to be the big ball moments. Some defensive stops, thought maybe had PI. There's a flag came out there that definitely PI, and then what happens is Sam Hartman working to A.T. Perry, and he's just going to get to the back of the end zone. So when Hartman escapes, A.T. Perry, who looked like he was exhausted on this drive, is able to adjust to this football. And that is a big moment for sure, because Wake Forest is now just down 6.
Perry with 10 catches, 134 yards and a touchdown. Thomas wriggling away from one tackler. 27-21. And LSU at home at Death Valley has defeated Alabama in overtime tonight. They went for 2 in overtime. Here goes Morris off to the races as he slides around the 40-yard line and picks up a big first down.
That's a huge first down and a kind of a chunk play. Wake Forest had just decided to be super aggressive, and they're playing zero coverage man and really just get out of place there. And M.J. Morris able to scamper for a big gain.
Picks up 17. He has thrown for 210, 3 touchdowns. And a big chunk indeed. First down and 10. On the move, and down goes the runner, and also losing a helmet. It looked like Morris also got kneed in the head, didn't it?
It did. The quarterback run game, we've said it a few times tonight, it's a huge part of the plan, clearly. Now, when Morris is finishing this run, his helmet pops off, and then here, on the way up, like that's some extracurricular by Holmes.
Wow. Gavin Holmes, the sophomore from Louisiana. And so Jack Chambers has to come in for a play. A graduate out of Lilburn, Georgia, who lost his job to the true freshman M.J. Morris. Morris engineering a great come-from-behind victory to earn the job in his first start. Chambers with the keep, and down he goes. Smenda will get the tackle. Crowd doesn't like the extracurricular at all that they saw too.
No, but half of this stadium is chanting MJ Morris as he comes back on the field, and I think he's won the hearts of some of these Wolfpack fans.
He's got a real infectious personality. Very, very upbeat, very unaffected. Doesn't want to hear about social media, doesn't want to hear from media at all right now. He's kind of in a beautiful little bubble at the moment. 2nd down and 10. And we'll hand off here. Houston off to the races, heading for that left sideline. And picking up the 1st down on the carry. There's also flags down. And NC State celebrating. It's against Wake.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 7. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. 1st down. This is number 7's first unsportsmanlike penalty of the game.
That's Gavin Holmes. We were just talking about him a moment ago.
Yeah, and that's uncharacteristic of Dave Clawson's team, you know, and really there could have been a foul, probably should have been a foul on the play earlier, and then Holmes after the play there. I mean, you think about this, Dave, against Virginia Tech, NC State with about over 5.5 minutes left in the game are able to run out the clock. They were very proud that they were able to do that in their last game, and doing a good job of eating up some clock here by keeping the ball on the ground.
It's a real strength of their head coach, too, and more flags down. Dropped in the end zone here with precisely 4 minutes to go. And the ball on the 9-yard line.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
So that one hurts. And that'll bring it back to the 14.
And you see Dave Dorn screaming finish to his football team, which...
So 1st down. MJ Morris trying to engineer his first victory as a starter. He's going to keep it, looking to get the edge, but can't. He's going to be dragged down by Ja'Cory Johns. It's had a really nice night.
2nd charge timeout. Wake Forest. 30 seconds.
3:54 remaining.
Please reset the game clock to 3 minutes, 55 seconds. Thank you.
We will add a second here.
Now, I will say, I think that both Dave Dorn and Dave Clawson do an excellent job of in-game management, you know, and so I would be stunned if Dave Dorn put this ball in the air at all. You know, I think you trust Chris Dunn, your field goal kicker. If you're not able to run the football in, obviously it's 2nd and goal from outside the 10-yard line. So in all likelihood, we're looking at 2 more runs, Wake Forest burning both of their timeouts, and then Christopher Dunn on to kick a short field goal to make it a 2-point game.
Look at the red zone, 4 possessions, 3 touchdowns, and a field goal. Dunn's pretty much automatic. He's 17 for 17. 2nd and goal. Staying on the ground again. Morris tied up. So nothing developed there for the youngster. Bergen and Johns in on a tackle. So 3rd down approaching. And the clock running.
And looked like Dave Clawson okay with not burning his last timeout, playing 3rd down out. Clearly it looks like NC State is comfortable just running the football, burning up as much time as possible. I think they feel like, and I'm sure Dave Dorn feels like, you know, the kick is good from this point.
Sure. 2-possession game with a field goal. Morris taken off again and gets inside the 10 as he dives ahead. Again, you just see that element becoming more and more dangerous for NC State, his ability to run the football, and they will use a timeout here.
Third and final timeout. Wake Forest. 30 seconds.
2:58 to play. And 4th and goal. M.J. Morris, the true freshman, making his first career start tonight.
And what he's done a nice job of, he's made good decisions in the passing game. He's even created some offense outside the design of the play and given his team a chance. And the coaches talked about, kind of some life being, brought back to the wide receiver room. He's certainly done that with how he's passed the football. And then they've relied on him a ton as a runner tonight.
Sure have.
I mean, I think that has kind of helped them chip away at the Wake Forest defense.
Including on this drive,
For sure.
that all-important 17-yard scamper to pick up a first down. So here comes Christopher Dunn, one of the best in the country. Number 2 all-time in the ACC in scoring by a kicker. This will be a 25-yard attempt. 2 for 2 tonight. Did get a post on one, but it went anyway. And trying to make it 30-21 Wolfpack. And he is Mr. Automatic. So 30-21 the score with less than 3 minutes to play. And be sure to stick around after the game for the ACC Hub. So NC State looking for their 7th victory of the year and up by 9.
Well, and how about M.J. Morris not turning the football over at all, which is, as we sit here now, probably the defense in the difference in the game. And being a 2-score game, you still can't count Wake Forest out, but they're up against it now with no timeouts and facing this NC State defense that's really giving them a tough time.
Colin Smith to kick it off. Williams watches that one sail. He'll bring it out to the 25.
Had to earn it on this last drive and, played with a lot of pressure in his face, made some really difficult throws, but ultimately able to drive his team down the field. And he's up against a similar challenge, only this time with no timeouts, and they've got to move fast because they need enough time to be able to go for an onside kick and try to do it again.
Look at that last drive. We put up 109 yards. That's because of the penalties as well. That was some drive. Hartman trying to duplicate it, get him into the end zone again, and it's Perry who still has some gas in the tank, rather unbelievably. That'll gain 13 yards. A.T. Perry with his 11th reception at 147 yards tonight. Hartman to go quick. In the pocket, good time. Rifled that one to close to the 50-yard line and caught by Perry again.
And you can see when NC State is just in a 3-man rush, and it happened on the previous drive, Hartman's got all kinds of time. And when Hartman has time, he's about as effective as anyone in the country.
He does again, gets that one off, and a tough play there on the far sideline. Keyshawn Williams able to haul it in. Remember, they're out of timeouts, so they cannot stop the clock here. 2:10 to go. Does Hartman have more magic in that arm here tonight? Gets that one short, but he's going to pick up a first down as he connects with the tight end Whitehart.
And an incompletion at some point isn't a terrible thing for Wake Forest because it may allow them to sub their wide receivers as they get tired running route after route.
Hartman dancing around a bit, throws over the top and incomplete. 1:45 remaining. You wanted Keyshawn Williams over the middle. And Tanner Ingle there on the coverage. Fagan as well.
And I think that Fagan's fortunate there because it almost looks like a launch up into the head and neck area of a defenseless player, but because he avoids the contact, there's no call.
Got a little fortunate indeed. Hartman, that one going to be Right to Perry. Incomplete as Pitts was there to break it up. And 3rd down and 10. 1 minute 40 seconds to go. Hartman to go airborne again. Now he's going to scamper, staying on his feet. He's going to be taken down. And the clock continues to run. Drake Thomas, Peyton Wilson getting together to smother him. 4-yard gain, 4th down and 6.
And I think it's going to be an isolation route like we've seen in the beginning part of the drive to Perry at the top of the screen.
Whitehart called back and a timeout.
NC
State.
Their second.
Will take number 2. It was fascinating watching Hartman reach out and grab Whitehart and send him in the other direction.
You know, part of playing quarterback is being a traffic cop, if you will, and making sure everyone's lined up appropriately. And I think the timeout from a defensive perspective, here's Hartman.
No,
where are you going, man? Like, I need you here. And I think even with some of that confusion, I think this is the game if you're NC State. You make the stop here, the game is over. And so Dave Dorn just wanted to make sure that his defense is on the same page.
So 4th down here for Wake as they trail 30-21 in Raleigh with 1:11 on the clock. Hartman has to move again. Throws and incomplete. Incomplete off of Perry.
Going on the field, it was an incomplete pass. Ball goes on down. 1st down, NC State.
NC State taking over on downs.
A.T. Perry kind of gets bumped off his route. That disrupted the timing, and then Sam Hartman just tries to get it to him as he's escaping, and I thought there was a chance he may run for it, but...
Yeah, now we got flags down and some after the play back and forth between the Wolfpack and the Demon Deacons, and a flag was dropped. 1:05 to go, 9-point lead for NC State and the football. And they start to celebrate as Carson has walked off. And I would bet that after the game there will be some comments about a couple of flags that Coach Clausen believes should have been thrown. And I think plenty of discussion about the play at the goal line.
Yeah, and look, and to be clear, Gavin Holmes also, need MJ Morris with no helmet after a play. I think there's been an element here where been some stuff that I think both sides have been frustrated with.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct against the defense, number 1 for taking his helmet off. 15-yard penalty. 1st down, NC State. This is number 1's first unsportsmanlike penalty of the game.
A lot of talking there, but as mentioned, Carter did take off the helmet.
But part of what I'm trying to figure out, like, why are some of these guys on the field? Like Carson's on the field because he's on defense, but Durden and Fagan, like the NC State offense is on the field.
And looking to finish this one up with just over a minute to play. Morris taking a knee, which is something that they went through calling timeouts last week to teach him in the last seconds of the game. But he has learned fast. It's one of the things they love about him, what a bright kid he is, and how you only have to tell him one time. That's what Tim Beck and Dave Doran were talking about this week. Tell him once, that's all you need. He's going to get it. He's going to pick it up real quick.
And, I think that you got to give credit to Tim Beck for changes that he's made in the offense. Think about the home winning streak that NC State has here. Credit to Dave Dorn to not miss a beat with a true freshman quarterback, and it's another impressive win at home by the Wolfpack.
In fact, it is 16 in a row here at Carter Finley, and your final score tonight, 30-21 NC State. So they have tied a school record and the 6th longest active in FBS as well. Got to be a very satisfying win for Dave Dorn and NC State against a longtime rival. You can't get much longer than playing continuously since 1910.